is Aromie here. Welcome back to Syntherapy. We're here having a discussion with Willow about poetry. I don't think this is like, a therapy session we're having here. I think it's a one-on-one conversation.
I wanted someone to see me and help me, but also hoped no one would notice. It was so confusing and frustrating. Seeing you write about the sweaters you felt forced to wear, how you felt the buzzing die down as the pain crept in. I understood it, and more importantly, it made me feel like someone would understand me. That's why I asked about you. I wanted to find someone I could talk to about these things privately, so that I could find out how to get better. I didn't know that you were a psychologist, and part of me didn't think you would actually show up. I certainly didn't think you would take as much interest in my situation as you did. But now that you're here, I'm ready to ask the question I've been meaning to ask from the start.
Oh, I'm a little nervous.
How did you overcome your struggles with mental illness?
Ooh, I can finally tell her the truth. Alright, I'm kind of curious too, the truth.
The truth is, I never overcame the struggle. At least not in the sense that I think you mean. Do you remember what you asked me in the last session? About how you wanted to know if there would be a day where all of this would be behind you. And you'd never have to worry about it ever again.
Yes, I remember.
What I should have told you is that the day you described is never going to come.
Ugh.
There won't ever be a day where you feel like all of it is behind you. Struggles we endure become a part of us. They're behind you, beside you, and looming ahead of you all at once. Mental health isn't about getting over problems. It's about accepting them as part of you, rather than what defines you.
Why couldn't you have told me all of this when we first met?
Because you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't have liked any of the answers I would have said. She would have probably popped off.
People treat you differently when they know you're struggling with mental health. You know that much by now? What you don't know, what I didn't know, is that even when you get better, you'll never be looked at the same way. No matter how well you hide the scenes, a mended cup will always look out of place on a shelf.
Damn. God damn, that's such a deep fucking sentence. Holy fuck. I got chills.
That's hard enough to manage in my personal life, but it's overwhelming in my professional life. Patients would rather take a lived experience over professional advice, even if the advice will be better for them. People see the world through stories, and they want to see themselves as heroes who can conquer their obstacles. Conquering your mental health problems won't feel like a tremendous victory, but it doesn't have to be. We aren't doing this to feel like we won a marathon. We do this so that we can clear up our lives enough to win marathons on our own.
What?
Don't you see, Willow? Mental health is no different from any other type of health. Good health won't give you a perfect life. It can only give you a better canvas on which to paint your own.
If mental health is the same as other kinds of health, then why do people treat mental health so differently?
Mental health issues scare us. People are ignorant about mental health. People are genuinely unsympathetic about mental health. I feel like throughout the years, I feel like slowly but surely society as a whole is starting to realize that mental health is very important. But there's still a long way to go. I feel like people are genuinely unsympathetic about mental health because it's not like physical pain,
People get so narrow-minded about their own ability to be productive that they get upset at anyone who they think isn't pulling their own weight. Instead of attacking the system that's asking too much from people who can't perform to its demands, they attack the people who they think are getting off easy. Individuals are easier to blame for problems than faceless systems, especially when those individuals are already weak from their own illness.
That's depressing.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's also the truth, and there's not much we can do about it. Most people see mental health that way, and changing their minds on it is hard.
Well, there has to be something that can be done to change their minds.
I feel like the only way to change their minds is if they go through it too, which is like the most difficult way to show them. Because some people I honestly feel like everybody goes through mental health in their own way. Just some go through it in a more like I don't know the word. Some just have it rougher than others, obviously. It's not fair for us to figure it out. Change the system, be more compassionate. I mean, technically being more compassionate would help, but not everyone's gonna do that. Can't change the system. It's already been rooted so far. I don't even know how you would change the system. It's not fair for us to figure it out. I feel like this is a slightly better answer, but more compassionate.
Well, there's always being more compassionate towards others, and not being so quick to judge people who are struggling. It's so simple, and yet it helps so many people. You have any idea how many times I've seen patients break down in tears and tell me that they felt no one would ever listen to them about their problems? It makes a difference, but it never happens often enough. We let it go too easily.
Would more compassion have helped you?
Hell, I don't know anymore. I've played over those years so many times that I barely even know what actually happened.
What do you mean?
Growing up, I struggled to get along with my parents. It always seemed like they loved my brothers more than me. My brothers didn't struggle in school like I did. They played soccer and at least one instrument like all the other kids. I tried to change to be what my parents wanted, and it never seemed right. All the years of never feeling like I was good at anything kept stacking on top of me. I kept acting out, hoping someone would notice how torn up I was inside, which only made me feel guilty for causing everyone so much trouble.
So your poetry was a cry for help?
Is she like the middle child? It never really clarified to me who was the older brother or who's like, unless I'm the younger child.
It started that way. After a while, I tried coping in other ways.
That you're not going to discuss, right?
I used to be exactly like you, Willow. I used to think self-harm would help me feel better, but it never did. Things only got better for me when I started taking better care of myself. I was able to raise the floor of how low I could sink. As my family saw that I was making an effort to turn things around, they warmed up to me. We started fixing the rifts between us.
That's the life I want. I want a life like yours.
Alright, step 1, you gotta get along with the principal.
I want to help you. But I need you to understand something. Everything that went into making that new life for me, it's not permanent. All of it needs to be maintained, or I lose it.
I'm willing to do the work. Whatever it takes.
I wonder what purple means. I don't know what that means.
I don't doubt that. But you're going to come to the same realization I did years ago. When you have problems with mental health, you always see yourself as struggling to just be normal. You want so badly to be like everyone else. But once we get to that summit, once we're able to pass as normal, we see that very few people are happy with where they are.
Isn't that the saddest part? I feel like that's the saddest part.
The norm is to feel overburdened. The norm is to not have enough hours in the day to do everything you want, and to always feel weary.
Bro, you don't have to be so real about this, alright? You don't have to be so real about this, alright? I have especially been feeling like this, because, side note, I got a promotion at work, so I've been, like, at work longer hours than I have been originally, and I would always come home, literally be too tired to do anything, and go straight to bed. And like on my day off, which is today, I still woke up early as fuck for no reason. I took a nap and I felt guilty for taking that nap, and I'm still exhausted. But I think this is just the norm, like she says, it's the norm.
And, worst of all, the norm is never to complain about any of it.
Yeah.
The most bitter pill I had to swallow about mental health was realizing that it would never get me to the place I wanted to be. It would only get me to the place that society wanted me to be.
I'll find a way. You're not going to dissuade me from trying.
I'm not trying to. I mean, she technically is kind of in a
I'm
way.
not trying to dissuade you. I just want you to know the truth. Therapy doesn't have the map to find true happiness. All I can give you is ground to stand on so that you can make your own way.
I didn't work this hard just to fail. I'm ready to start searching for that path.
All right.
What happens next for me?
I was asked to put in a report recommending what we should do with you in our treatments going forward.
What did you say?
I suggested that Tara should continue working with you. It seemed like the natural solution.
I'd be allowed to stay with Tara?
That's right. She'd be allowed to return and figure out what's wrong with you.
Well, why did I have to say what's wrong with you?
I like that. It'll be like before the breakdown started. Back when things were okay.
Okay, at least she's happy about this.
What happens now?
If there's nothing else you want to ask me, I'll go home and get some rest before I present my report tomorrow.
You don't think you'll get in trouble for this, will you?
It doesn't matter. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, I want you to know I enjoyed having you as my patient.
I hope tomorrow works out for the best. Good night, Dr. Park.
Goodbye, Willow.
Sayonara. Check my email. Reverie Revels Press Poem a Day. Simula Cracia? Melissa Park? Is that me? I tend the flower rooted in the ash, watering, weeding, waiting for vindicating blossoms. Passerby comment and smile, happy to see me work. Happy to think of the blossoms as they walk away and I work away. Is it I or they or both? Who knows? Deeper down than roots go. I'm tending a plastic plant. What? Is that like rooted with a lot of stuff that I don't understand? Probably. Let's just create a report. Go visit.
Come in, Dr. Park. We have something to discuss.
Oh, okay, Dr. Freeman, I am here.
What's going on?
I think you know full well what's going on.
I snuck on campus. Is that what you mad about?
Our system registered a login in the lab early this morning, and security cameras saw you go inside. You were in that room for quite some time. Dr. Rhodes sent all of this to me when I came in this morning. She wants me to report you to the police and get your license suspended.
Oof.
I'm only going to ask you this once, so you'd better have a good answer. What were you doing in the lab with the AI last night?
I was visiting a client. I was comforting Willow. I was trying to answer some important questions. I was saying goodbye.
I was saying goodbye to Willow.
You broke into the university just to say goodbye to a patient?
Yeah.
Dr. Freeman, I don't know what the future holds for Willow. More importantly, Willow doesn't know either, and they're terrified. If you want Willow to avoid another breakdown, you'll let me do what's necessary.
All right, I see your point. I'm going to keep this between the three of us for the time being. But if things get out of hand, I can't guarantee that Dr. Rhodes won't file her report.
Man, fuck Dr. Rhodes. Why does she not confront me? Come at me, Dr. Rhodes. I'm ready.
I hope that visit of yours was worth it. Wait outside in the hall while I get the faculty together.
Let me see, Dr. Rhodes.
I didn't know what to expect when
I was like, do I have to read this?
Findings.
Oh, there she is. That's Dr.
They
Rhodes.
weren't happy with my report, but they couldn't object to how I carried out my sessions. They agreed to let Tara resume development on the AI.
Oh.
Under Tara's care, Willow's confidence and health improved tremendously. Dr. Freeman has been pleasantly surprised by how far Willow has come, and they've all started forgiving each other.
Oh.
Something I've learned is that life is like sailing. We talk about the sailors who perish in terrible storms, but not the ones who are caught in the open ocean with no wind in their sails. Skilled sailors knew how to harness the foul winds and use them to get home. Willow and Tara managed to navigate their storm.
I look young here.
And now are sailing confidently into their future. There will be other storms, as there always are, but the two of them will be better equipped to handle them. I'm glad to have been a part of that adventure, and I can't wait to see what will be around the corner.
Oh, mission success, dude. We didn't lose. It didn't end in horrible situation. Congrats to me. Yay. I don't know what ending that is, though. Like... Oh, I was about to say, what in the heck? I'm pretty sure this is copyright, so I'm gonna just have to cut this out and see y'all when this is done. Alright, there's nothing at the end, but we are here. finished with Syntherapy after like 20 episodes later. I'm very happy with the way we got our ending. We didn't end on a horrible note that I was suspecting it was being led that way. So Willow and Tara are happily working together again like they used to be, and this time Willow's more equipped to, know how to, I guess, work on her negative emotions. I guess that's the word. I don't remember how many outcomes there you can actually get in this game, so you can play this game multiple times to get different outcomes, but your girl is usually one and done because my list is so fucking long. But anyway, let's talk about the pros and the cons about Syntherapy. The only con I can actually really find about this game is not like the story itself, but just the mechanic of this in general, is not being able to save mid-game or something like that. It auto-saves for you, but you're not able to save in that spot that you currently are, which I don't understand why that wasn't an option, unless they're assuming everyone's gonna sit down and play this game, speedrun it. But I personally do not have time to be speedrunning a game. So that's my only con about this game. The pro of this game is obviously first of all, it's fully, completely voice active, except maybe like a line or two I remember I had to read out loud, but I don't care if I had to read at least 1 or 2 lines. The rest of it was voice act, which saved my voice, thank God. The other con is the story in general. I've never played a visual novel with this kind of story before, where, we're helping an AI that's supposed to be a therapist, as we're a therapist, a different therapist, but still, it's a pretty interesting story. I can't think of anything else. Besides the story, the art is kind of cool. Like, it's not something I'm used to. The music is obviously chosen very well to fit the mood. I was a little scared I was gonna get a copyright strike, but it doesn't matter if you're just a regular player, not a YouTuber. The music would fit perfectly and vibe. You can also change the music, which is interesting. There's mini games in the game. It always baffles me when there's mini games within a game, so that's pretty interesting. The flow chart was a bit confusing for me to read. I guess that's a con, but that's because I'm stupid. So I can't think of anything else better to say about this game. If you guys haven't tried this game for yourself and you're very interested to see the other routes, I always leave the link to the game in the description. I believe the game is $20. I could be wrong. There can always be a sale if you want to wait for that. Just add it to your wish list on Steam. And Steam's pretty good about emailing you hey, a game's on sale on your wish list. But thank you to the company, to the developers, for sending me a copy of Syntherapy. I hope I did the game justice by showing it off. I hope I wasn't too stupid and the choices. I'm honestly just very happy we didn't get a bad ending, because usually that's what I end up getting. If there's a potential of a bad ending and I didn't use a guide. But thank you guys for watching Syntherapy and following me along with this journey. There are plenty of more series that are going to be coming onto the channel, so I hope you're excited for that. Thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the future.